How's it going, Top Forest TV? My name is Jack, and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Manchester City at the City Ground. So yeah, obviously the last time these two teams did face, it was at the Etihad back. I think it was August time, where we got absolutely hammered. It was 6-0. Haaland had a field day. Cancelo was outside the foot crossing till his heart was content. Yeah, we got slapped about. Now, I don't think it's going to be that kind of type of game tomorrow. Well, today actually it is now. But I don't see us necessarily getting 3 points. I could maybe see us picking up a draw, sort of like we did against Chelsea. But Man City, we know what they're capable of. I mean, they can score at will. They've got Haaland, De Bruyne, Grealish is on form. You know, they're a very dangerous side, and I know they've struggled a little bit of late, sort of losing to Spurs and dropping points. Who else they drop points to? They definitely dropped points to them recently, but I can't quite remember who it was. I don't know. My mind's gone blank. But on the back of that win against Arsenal, it was massive for them, massive for their season, massive for their title hopes. They're now top of the table, which they weren't obviously going into the game. They needed to beat Arsenal to do that, and they're top of the league now. So they've got that sort of mental advantage. And City are a side that, in this sort of situation, if they get the noses in front, they could put a run of games together of like 14 straight wins without even thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? They could easily just bring a massive amount of wins together and put a bit of daylight between them and Arsenal, which is a shame because I'd like to see Arsenal win the league. They've been a sort of a team that have been quite fun to watch recently. Sorry about that. A team that, I don't know, they're just kind of a bit of a soft spot side. I don't know why, but yeah, I'd like to see Arsenal win the league, but I digress. I think Man City, like I say, are a world-class team. I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that's the case. They've got some incredible players. Okay, they're having a bit of an injury situation at the minute, as are we. Obviously, their squad's a lot better now. I think any player that is on their bench would walk into our side or have a good chance to get there. Ortega, I don't think. I think he wouldn't get in goal for us. But a lot of the other players, they'd have a good chance of making our starting 11, let's say. But yeah, we've got to be positive. I think at home it'll be a closer match. Definitely think that, because at the Etihad, it was near the start of the season. Players were still gelling one thing and another, and we just played into their hands and got absolutely walloped. But hopefully in this one we can be a bit more solid at the back, a bit more compact, and maybe try and be a bit more, play with a bit more freedom, be able to actually create a little bit. Seeing as we're at home, in front of our own fans, we're at our own ground, we're, the home side, we should be being a little bit more positive. So hopefully we do that, and we look to be a bit more, try and keep the ball a bit more, try and retain possession a bit, try and look to create something going forward, rather than, just let it be on Man City. I remember watching that game against City at the... Well, I wasn't at the Etihad, but that's where the game was. I was watching it on BT Sport, unfortunately, with my cousin who supports Man City. And it was literally, we had like the one or two chances. You often see this, when a lower down sort of team go to a Man City, or maybe an Old Trafford back in the day, or an Anfield kind of thing back a couple of seasons, last season, whatever, not so much this season. But they'll have the odd, like, half chance kind of thing. They'll have maybe 2 per game sort of thing. That's really what we had. It was very much a stereotypical kind of thrashing game, a Man City side who were scoring for fun with Erling Haaland bagging a hat-trick. They just basically never got out of second gear. They just play, cruise control football and put 6 past us. I don't think it's going to be that kind of game tomorrow. I'm thinking it'll be a bit closer. I could see it maybe being 2-0 City, something like that. I don't expect us to win, but games like this don't define our season. I think the next game, West Ham away, is much more important. One that, they're 4 points behind us as things stand. So hopefully we're able to get the business done against someone like them. But games against Man City aren't really going to define our season. They're not going to be a game that we have to win to try and keep ourselves up. We'll factor in the case of it's unlikely we'll probably beat them, so we then look at the other games, the more beatable teams, to try and gain the points we need to get survival. But again, you want to go into these games feeling positive and have a bit of optimism, and maybe we could pull something like a Liverpool out of the bag if we're very much defensively compact and we do our jobs defensively and try and frustrate City. Maybe we could then go on and nick a goal and do something that way. That's a route to try and get something from this game. But with Keylor Navas in goal, I do feel a bit more confident. Okay, he did concede 2 against Fulham, but that Willian chance on its own, I don't think many goalkeepers would have saved. It was an absolutely fantastic goal from Willian. So, I think if Keylor Navas is on form, I'll be a bit more confident. I don't think he'll concede the same amount that Henderson did. Not saying that Keylor Navas is much better, is infinitely better than Henderson. But I think that at home, in front of our own crowd, the circumstances will be slightly different. And I think Navas is used to playing against teams like City and one thing and another. So, yeah, I'd stick it. I'd obviously play him. I don't think we have much choice in the matter with Henderson being still ruled out. But I think, we've got to be positive and we've got to play like with a home side and not just respect Man City too much by giving them all the ball and just basically rolling over, letting them score the goals and we're thinking we'll probably lose, so we may as well just let them beat us. We want to give it a proper go, of course we do, and the fans are going to be up for it. Man City at home, these kind of clubs are the ones that you want to be playing. When you get into the Premier League, you want to be playing the Kevin De Bruyne's, the Erling Haalands, the Rodris of the game, and I think it's not going to be straightforward by any means, but I think we could give a good account of ourselves. I don't think we'll get absolutely pummeled. I don't think we'll win, but you never know. You never know. Football's a weird game, but I'm gonna go. My head saying 2-0 City, my heart saying we'll nick a 1-0 and we'll just grind it out, but I think it'll be more likely to be the loss, unfortunately. But like I say, it's not the end of the world if we do lose this game. We just have to then focus on the next one and beat those teams in and around us. Your likes of your Southamptons, your Wolves, your I guess Aston Villa to an extent, your kind of Leeds and West Ham, those type of sides. Crystal Palace, maybe you could even put them in that conversation. Leicester. But I think if we focus on those games and look to try and pick up the points in them ones, then we'll be fine. Like I said, I don't expect us to win against Man City. I'd love it so much if we did. Oh man, that'd be hilarious. I'd rub it into my cousin so much. But we'll see how it goes. In terms of the lineup, then I'd have Navas in goal. I'd have the full backs. I'll have Aurier and Lodi. The 2 centre backs. Well, we've got not much choice at the minute. Felipe and Worrell, which I think will be okay. With obviously Bolly and McKenna being taken off early on in the game against Fulham. The midfield, I would have Freuler, Danilo. I'd give Shelvey a go, and then I'd have Gibbs White in front of them with a front 2 of Surridge and Johnson. I know the whole thing's come out today about Wood, and I personally think it's very strange. Like, I don't know why you'd put a obligation to buy after 3 games. I mean, that seems a bit silly to me. The only thing I can think of is Cooper wanted to buy him permanently, but couldn't do it with FFP or whatever this January. So he's waiting for the summer and he's just putting a 3-game obligation to buy loan, so it doesn't count in this season or whatever financially for FFP or something like that. But 15 M's, I think it was 15 million. That's mental for someone like Chris Wood, who, no offence to the bloke, but he's played 3 games and he's done nothing. I'd love him to prove me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I'm always here to be proved wrong. Like, if a footballer wants to prove me wrong, make me look a fool, go for it. I would not be annoyed in the slightest. If it's a Forest player and I'm saying they're not great and they go and score a hat-trick, fam, sorry, I didn't mean to say fam. Sorry, I do apologise for that. Look, mate, I don't mind at all. I'm not bothered. But I think most other Forest fans are not really convinced on Wood so far. I'd love for him to prove me wrong. Absolutely love for him to prove me wrong. I'm not basing my judgment on 3 games, let me just say. I'm just saying he's not done much to really encourage me in these games. I want him to prove me wrong, of course, to show us that he's got a bit more to offer, which I think he could do, but I don't think that he should start in this game. I'll go Surridge and Johnson up front for me. But yeah, let us know down below what you think the score's going to be, who you think's going to start, and who you think will be key for us. Like I say, Kale now I think will be key for us if you want to try and get anything from this game. Subscribe if you haven't already and you are new to the channel. Like this video if you did enjoy, and come on, you Reds.